Due to UN sanctions, Crazy Barack's used drone lot will no longer be sponsoring Glorious and Free. We would now like to welcome our new sponsors. Colonel Versace's drive-thru implants and liposuction. Are you looking for that perfect summer body but hate getting out of your minivan? Then come visit us. We've got over 300 locations throughout North America to better surgery you better. It's easy. Just pull up to our window and order the augmentation of your choice. Then, pull on over to our operating window where one of our skilled lipo or implant attendants will turn you into the ageless ghoul you've always wanted to be. At Colonel Versace's drive-thru implants and liposuction, you'll be given your choice of sedative before treatment. We've got heroin, rohypnol, and vodka to choose from. In under an hour, we'll rearrange your body into a disproportionate, aesthetically repugnant Franken-Barbie who gives your children nightmares and inferiority complexes the rich and famous could only dream of. Then, drive off and continue your journey into sedentary oblivion. We'll suck the fat out of your ass and put it right into your tits. We'll suck the fat out of your tits and put it right into your ass. Hell, we'll suck and blow fat anywhere a kitchen knife and a shop vac will allow. Join us every Sunday for family night where kids get Botox for free. That's Colonel Versace's drive-thru implants and liposuction, where we turn your insecurities into decidedly dangerous, extremely expensive, unquestionably unnecessary medical procedures. Make sure to visit us online at www.versacesuckandblow.com. Hello, and welcome to Glorious and Free with Bryan O'Gorman. I'm your host, Bryan, and this is my friend. He's the writer and star of the amazing movie Filth City about Toronto. Give it up for Danny Polishchuk.
What's up? Hello.
Nice to have you here, Danimal. Thanks for coming, dude.
Well, thank you for having me.
Now, you have had a crazy last couple of years with your movie, right?
Yeah. It was pretty wild. So
Okay, so the movie is roughly based on Rob Ford's life?
yeah, like very, like
And I
very
remember. I just want to say
roughly.
this right off the bat. You wrote this before Rob Ford even got sick, let alone
No,
before he
we
died.
wrote it after he had got sick and then
Okay.
was healthy again.
Okay.
When we wrote it, he was fine, and he was the mayor,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was like fine.
And then when it came out, how long was it between when he died and when your movie came out?
It came out 2 days after the 1-year anniversary of his death, but it was a complete coincidence. It was not planned at all. It was originally supposed to come out on Super Channel
Right.
6 months previous, and like when we made it, he was fine, and then in post production, because if you remember, he just like got sick really quickly and then died.
Right.
Like it all happened really fast. He's like, I'm sick again.
Yeah,
and
it was
then
like a crack high. It's there. Then
yeah,
it's gone,
and then
you
like
know?
6 weeks later, he was dead or whatever. But this was all after it had been shot. So yeah. Anyways, it was supposed to come out on Super Channel like 6 months previous to when it did, and then they went bankrupt, as they do, because they've done it like 5 times. And so they went bankrupt, and then they're like, we're not honoring our contract with you. So then they had to find an alternate, and then there was the Canadian Film Festival was going on. And so they entered into the Canadian Film Festival, and Canadian Film Festival was like, this is awesome. We're going to have this close out the Canadian Film Festival, which happened to be 2 days after the anniversary of Rob Ford's death. But like, we didn't pick that date. That was just when the film festival was.
And I mean, regardless of whether Rob is alive or
He's
dead.
not.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. Rumor has it. Yeah, I know, but it's like whether he is or whether he isn't, though, the fact of the matter is his life was something worthy of making a movie about, right?
Second movie.
Are you
'Cause
going to
there's
do a second one?
No, there's a
Oh.
movie coming out called I can't remember what it's called, with the guy from Homeland, Daniel Lewis, who plays Rob Ford.
Legit plays Rob Ford?
Yeah, it's not a comedy though.
What?
It's called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like has all these stars in it, and it's about the reporters at the time discovering the Rob Ford thing. And
the Rob Ford tape of him smoking
the tape
crack.
and everything, and
Yeah, yeah.
but so it's about the reporters, not about the Ford story. So Daniel Lewis, who's like the skinny terrorist dude from Homeland and
Right.
from Billions, I think it's
The
Daniel.
ginger guy.
The ginger guy.
The ginger
Is it Daniel Lewis? I think that's what it is.
No, you think of Daniel
Damian
Day-Lewis.
Lewis. Damian
Yeah,
Lewis.
yeah.
That's his name. Damian Lewis. He plays Rob Ford in some crazy prosthetic. Like if you have like, you can pull it up. There's pictures of it online of him walking around Toronto in this like crazy, looks like Rob Ford.
What?
So there's a second movie now, but ours was a comedy because why would you not make
How
it a
could you
comedy?
not make a
I
comedy
know,
about
it's
that
like, that's
man's
obvious.
life? He's a fat crackhead. I've always said that in and of itself is one of the funniest things in the fucking world.
Well, there was the thing at the beer market where he was like, some server there was like, I went in the back room of the beer market and he was just doing lines of coke and stuff. But again,
Oh,
that's like
shit.
partying at night.
Hey, man. I mean, like, the guy was obviously a big-time party boy. There's a lot of rumors of when he was younger and stuff, and they lived in the house growing up, him and his brother Doug, and they used to have like coke parties and stuff. These are rumors,
sure.
but everybody knows them.
I met,
and they also used to apparently like have sexy ladies over there, ladies of the night.
Well, generally, ladies of the night are attracted to coke parties.
Girls of the night love cocaine, Danny.
I met a guy who like at
Think about girls; they love cats and cocaine.
Yes,
that's two.
I remember. Remember our buddy Van Dad had that show at Hemingway's. And at that show one night, like after my set, some guy comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, did you make the?" He's like, "You made the Rob Ford movie?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I actually work at City Hall." And he's like, "I was at City Hall when all this shit was going down." And he's like, as crazy as it is, like what people think of Rob Ford, he's like, "There's a rumor at City Hall that like pretty much everybody believes that like Doug Ford." Like, and his other brother Randy in the 80s or 90s like kidnapped and like murdered some guy, and like everybody knows that it's true. But like, so when the whole Rob Ford scandal was happening, there was a police officer. He's like one of the heads of like police, like out in Etobicoke or something,
right,
who's a family friend. And when all the Rob Ford stuff was going on, that guy was not kept in the loop at all because they knew that he was like a rat basically to the Ford family. And that guy apparently like covered up, and he's like, covers up all their crazy illegal shit.
Wow, I wonder why they kidnapped somebody, just for goofs?
Drug debt.
Drug debt's probably a good reason.
Yeah.
That's so wild, man. Okay, and so let's get to this part too. When you made the movie, there was Doug Ford, his Rob's brother.
Mm-hmm.
He got a little upset with you, you know?
So he was not a politician at this point. He was just a private citizen who was trying to like be in the limelight or whatever. So he had a weekly segment on, I want to say it's either 6:40 a.m. or 10:10 a.m. So he had a segment every week where they're like, ask Doug Ford 10 questions. And like, so they were like the day before BlogTO had released the trailer. So they're like, what do you think of this? And he's like, oh, they're scumbag. He had never seen it. And he's like, I'm not going to see that. He's like, they're scumbags, blah, blah. And then I guess it was just a slow news day. And then that became like this whole news item of the scumbags thing. And then he ended up going on CP24 saying that like, if we were ever crossing the street, he'd run us over. And then it just kind of blew up from there. And then that's the thing is like the more he complained, the more people wanted to see it.
So this is how many years ago, 2?
This would be 2 years ago, yeah.
So the Premier of Ontario 2 years ago essentially threatened your life.
The current Premier.
The current Premier.
He was
of
a private
Ontario.
citizen at the time.
Fuck, man. But it's like we're living in this era of like it doesn't even matter if he actually gets caught doing something horrible. Nobody seems to give a shit anymore.
No, it has to be something like legitimately like black and white illegal.
Yeah. Is it not black and white illegal to be like...
Well, he was basically like, if they cross the street, he's like, I won't slow my car down. It's pretty...
it was implied.
It was implied. He's not like, I'm going to kill them.
Yeah. He wasn't like, I'll fucking kidnap you and
again,
leave you in Mexico.
But again, he thought we like made the movie after his brother died, and like he obviously like wouldn't really listen to the reason, but we're like, no, he was fine throughout the entire production of it. It's like he got sick at, but he's like, you don't make fun of my brother. And it's like, well, there's a lot to work with there.
There is a lot, and this
is hard
the
not
thing.
to.
Again, just because somebody's dead doesn't mean what they did in their life isn't still, you know, we shouldn't be able to still hold it up.
And hilarious, objectively hilarious.
You can't not laugh at that man's fucking life, man.
No, it's like he used to just drink vodka in the woods during the day by himself. Like that's amazing.
What? While he was the
mayor, like when they were surveilling him and shit. Like there was this thing where he was like behind his old public school at like noon on like a Tuesday, just like drinking a bottle of Polar Ice vodka by himself.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. But we've had some great mayors like that too. Remember Mel Lastman?
I do remember
Mel Lastman had a great picture of himself on the front page of the paper with the Hells Angels. Remember that? And he was
know.
He was hanging out with them, and they gave him a shirt, and he was just like, "Hey!" And
really?
then the next day in the newspaper, it was just Mel Lastman with a fucking.
The craziest thing is the famous Rob Ford photo with those 3 black guys out front of that like crack house where the video was apparently taken. All those guys died mysteriously within 6 months of that photo being taken, and only one of them has been solved.
Every single one of them?
All 3 guys are dead.
Oh my god! I didn't
and there's
know
a lot. Like there's a rumor that it was like Rob Ford did it.
Dude, I didn't know this show was gonna turn into a murder podcast. But let's do this.
I'm Robert Stack.
Dude, that's so fucking nuts. So all 3 of those guys,
dead.
I guess, could have.
One of them was like some sort of gang hit, but the other 2 is like, all I'll say is like I've heard, and a lot of people would not be surprised if the Fords were behind at least one of them.
Fuck. Man.
I mean, think about how much they had to lose.
Yeah.
And you have crazy police connections. You make some like gangbanger disappear. Like it's probably
pretty easy.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up. That's what's so crazy is like I love the videos of Rob Ford Oh, God. R.I.P., you fat fuck. You were so funny. But do you remember the videos with him just straight up speaking in patois?
I said, bro, for a minute, man. Leave me alone, man. They got 5 months, man.
Oh, yeah, the ones where he's drunk in that.
Just shit-faced at a roti joint. Being
Yeah.
like, yo, wagwan, man. Yo, bomba clot, this and that. And you're like, oh, my
Have you ever
God.
seen the video of after all the crack stuff? But he was like, I'm not resigning or anything. And then he brought in this reggae band into City Hall.
Let's get together
And they're all dancing around, and he's trying to get all these people to dance around, and like some of them are, and some of them are just like crossing their arms. They're so fucking mad that this is going on in City Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, instead of council today, we've brought Ziggy Marley in to entertain us.
It was like a Ziggy Marley like impersonator.
Pull out your bongs, council members. It's time to get lifted. Oh, that's fucking amazing. What a crazy thing. Did you ever feel legitimately fearful for your life when Doug Ford threatened you?
No.
Not because he's a fat puss?
No, just because it would be too obvious. I don't know. Like the thing is, like he was mad, but in my mind, he was mad strictly for political capital. Like he was being mad so that he could be in the limelight, like in the news as a victim for once, versus as like a piece of shit, which he's always portrayed as. Like he's never getting any sort of positive publicity. So it's like, here you go. You get to do something where you're actually like not the bad guy.
Right.
Plus, until you threaten to kill some filmmakers.
Yeah. Plus he's a fat puss.
Yeah.
Well, A, it's cool for you. It means that you're doing something that people are reacting to. That you're doing things that are actually biting. And like sometimes I get like upset when my jokes, like when people don't understand them and they get upset about certain parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, at least you're hitting some kind of button.
Yeah, you're eliciting a response. So it's like, that's a good thing.
And now, it's time for everybody's favorite segment, Endangered Allies, where we talk directly to endangered species all over the globe. We find out what they're doing, what TV shows they like, what they're eating, and how they're generally feeling, and how we can help them. So today, we're going to be talking to a good friend of ours, Mountain Gorilla. Mountain Gorilla, are you there?
Yes, speaking. How are you doing, Brian?
I am very well. Where are you right now?
I am in the Congo Basin, to be specific. It's just, it's a basin. It's just standard, like any basin you would have over where you live.
That's pretty sweet, you know? It's a hard finding a good basin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're telling us.
Great.
Oh.
So what do you mainly eat out there? What do you got for grub, bruh?
No, mostly just like, grass and leaves and berries and, maybe some insects. Just standard. A lot of leaves.
I've been reading some stuff about your population numbers. It seems to be going down. You guys are dwindling pretty hard. What's the reason for that?
Oh, yeah. There's a number of things. Mostly poachers. They keep killing us because they think our paws are lucky or magical, which is pretty fucking stupid.
Like the Simpsons episode with the monkey paw?
Exactly like the Simpsons episode with the monkey paw. They think you get some wishes from the paw, and so then they cut the paw off. But I mean, what I'm saying is if the paw was so lucky in the first place, why can't I keep it on the goddamn arm?
Doesn't make any fucking sense. If you had magical paws,
for me.
You think you could stop a poacher or two, right?
Yeah, I'm a goddamn giant gorilla.
Yeah, you're a goddamn motherfucking giant gorilla, yo.
Basically king of the jungle over here.
Yeah, I think that's the lion, but, well, we won't, never mind.
Yeah, second to the king.
Okay.
And then they also eat our meat, which is, I don't know, I mean, I guess you gotta eat, but...
Oh, bush meat,
so
right.
More delicious things.
The poachers will actually eat...
gorilla.
They eat giant gorillas?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Buddy.
We are tasty, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't so, but...
It's just the way it is, man.
Just the way of life, We're just tasty gorillas.
Shit, dude. Well, is there anything that we can do to help you? Is there anything that humans can do to help our friends, the mountain gorillas?
If you know any of the poachers, you could just ask them to stop poaching us. That would be great. Obviously, don't buy any gorilla paws or eat gorilla meat.
Fair.
And then, otherwise, yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's not really much you can do. If you ever see one of those commercials where it's like you can give $1 a day to gorillas or whatever, you could do that too.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, everything helps for the gorillas.
Oh, crazy. I also read that you guys get sick out there a lot. You got some kind of flu going around amongst the gorillas. Is that true?
I don't know if I call it a flu. It's called the Ebola virus.
Ooh, heard of it.
Yeah, it basically liquefies your inside slowly, and then you just kind of leak out from the inside until you die. It's a bummer. It's going around, you know. It's not the greatest. The only real benefit of it is that when these goddamn poachers eat our meat, they get it too. So.
Well, hey, man, all I can say is use hand sanitizer, and I hope things are going to work out for you. We're going to try our best to help you out. So people out there at home, if you know any poachers, kill them. Or if you see monkey paws, don't buy them, and then kill the person who owns the monkey paw. Is that fair?
Yes, exactly. Couldn't have said it better.
The gorilla said it, and it shall be done. All right, well, Mountain Gorilla, we really appreciate you, man, and give us a shout sometime, you know what I mean? Is there any way these guys can follow you? Or?
Yeah, you can just follow me at Congo Gorilla 69 on Twitter. I mostly just post, you know, little jokes and stuff here and there, and links to blogs I like, just stuff like that.
Hey, man, thanks so much for hanging, and please, anytime you're in Toronto, give us a call, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, wash your hands, bro. Take care.
Yeah, what's Toronto?
So we're going to go into some of these stories, man. We're just going to have Chris tell us what's happening in the news, and then me and you will talk about it. It'll be simple, easy peasy.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford's plan to reduce the size of Toronto's City Council by nearly half prompted an outcry from Mayor John Tory Friday, who said the move was not fair.
I don't know how I feel, because like Doug Ford's whole thing is he's like, I'm a conservative. Conservatives are about small government. I don't really know how much city councilors do. I've never been inclined to contact one. I feel like it's just like old people who are bored. That's what they do. They contact their city councilor.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know if that's like such.
The sidewalk's cracked outside of my house.
You know what I mean? And then the city councilor's like, okay, I'll pass this on. And like, I don't know.
I'm not voting for you till you put a stop sign up.
What do you think about, just because we're on weed and Doug Ford? I know this is not exactly on topic, but the fact that Doug Ford is going to make all the dispensaries private again.
That is, I hate that in a way, because it makes me like him a little bit. You know what
I
I
know.
mean? Like, because I was having a real hard time with the dispensaries the way that they're opening in Ontario right now. If you guys don't know, it's the government wanted to basically put it in the same category as alcohol, so you could only buy it at alcohol stores. Actually,
Sure.
they were gonna, like,
and in Ontario, it's like a government monopoly.
Government monopoly, 150%, man. So they were going to monopolize pot too. So that like they shut down all these different dispensaries all over the city for selling pot, because the cops were basically saying, like, once this becomes law, the government's the only one that can sell it. So they're out there fucking strong arming these small
they're
businesses.
just doing it because what they're doing is just enforcing the current law.
Yeah, enforcing my ass too. They're
Sure,
also getting fucked out of their minds. I know a lot of people where it was like, oh, we had 20 pounds in there, and then the police report says 5. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Suck me, Officer Pothead. But now they're going to privatize it, right? Doug Ford is going to privatize the pot.
Basically all they're doing is all these dispensaries that are open right now. They're just like, here's a license. No need for you to close. Like, you just get to stay open. Versus closing them all and then opening one store in like all of Toronto for like a year.
Yeah, the
until
logistics of
which
it
is
were
like
crazy.
ridiculous.
We have, what, 10 million people in Ontario or something, and they wanted
Dude,
to
they wanted
like,
to open one store in Hamilton. Imagine if there was one liquor store in Hamilton. They were like, we're going to have one pot shop in all of Hamilton.
You'd be camping out,
500,000 people.
Be like going to see the Beatles or some shit. You'd be fucking have a tent, be waiting outside in the rain for days and days.
Just to get in.
But yeah, I mean, the thing about pot too is, I mean, it's a little bit harder to control than alcohol is. Like, I mean, alcohol's much harder to make, you know? A lot of it.
I don't know if it is.
I mean, like, if you're making fucking Pruno
people
or
will
like
make
shitty beer,
fucking
sure,
people make
but
wine in their fucking kitchen.
yeah, but to distill like fucking whiskey or vodka
Sure,
or something, like, it's a pretty
sure.
serious process. But like weed, I mean, weed's a weed, brother. She's a weed, and
Sure.
she grows like crazy,
But
you know?
the thing is, if you for people who
chuck
are like
that shit into the air and it'll fucking-
connoisseurs or whatever, it's like, you know, shitty weed is like, a lot of people don't want to smoke crappy weed.
No, I
Like,
don't like
crappy
smoke
weed's
crappy
easy
weed.
to grow.
Yeah.
Good weed, not easy to grow.
No.
And the thing with the Doug Ford thing is that the only caveat to that is that currently all these dispensaries get their weed from their network of growers or whatever.
Right.
Under Doug Ford's thing, they're still allowed to sell weed and remain open, but they have to buy all their weed from government appointed licensed producers. So
There it is. There it
So the
fucking
weed
is.
will be the same. It's just the like source of like selling it will be different.
The fucking people who grow weed now that are just getting into the weed industry, like I guess some of them are like, you know, professional horticulturalists and stuff like that really know what they're doing. They're on like some serious science tip with the weed, you know, really making it great. But I tend to like the guys who've been growing for a long time, 40, 50 years, old fucking,
For sure.
you know, Mikey McMudfoot that hangs out in the fucking bush and makes...
I just want to see the fucking
weed, you know?
top shelf, like Canopy, which is like the biggest licensed producer
Yeah.
in the world, and it's where most of the weed will be coming from. I just want to see what their top shelf shit looks like. And it's
Favorite strain of weed, go.
I'm just a pink Kush guy.
You like the Kush,
I
eh?
like
You're an
the
indica
Kush.
fella. You like the
Yeah.
fucking...
I don't really notice a huge difference personally between like the. I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Kush puts me in a fucking coma. That's a
Like
song.
I feel
Kush
like
coma.
a lot of times when people are like, "Oh, this is an indica," you're like, "No, they just lied to you."
But that's my favorite stuff for going to sleep, you know? That's a big reason I was like, I started smoking pot. Is just I'm real bad insomniac and I can't
really?
sleep. Yeah, and the Kush is, I do now. But the Kushes were always the ones that helped me get to sleep. I'm in debt to those things.
Oh,
because
crazy.
I used to take fucking lorazepams. I went to sleep clinics when I was a kid, and they fucking put wires all over your head, trying to figure out why you can't sleep, but there's wires in your head. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, then I found the reefer.
I like Girl Scout cookies. I haven't seen those in a while, but
Girl
those
Scout cookies is a great
I
one.
like
Yeah,
those,
that's a
yeah.
Steve strain too.
Yeah.
Well, hell, man, yeah, legalization happens October
17th.
October 17th. It's going to be one of the sleepiest parties in the history of the world. But it's gonna
Is
be
there still
great.
going to be like weed rallies every year?
No, I mean, they
Is that
stopped
it?
they didn't do the one this year. They didn't
And
give
they
us
just
the
did it at
license for young
Nathan
and
Phillips
dumb.
Square or whatever?
Yeah, they just did it at Nathan Phillips. That's what I'm wondering. Like, what are all these weed people that I've known over the last
That's
15
your whole
years gonna do?
identity is being this rebel against the
whole
law.
thing.
Yeah, it's
now
like
you got to fucking figure something else out. Cocaine rally, baby.
we're gonna do a line from Queen to Bloor on Young Street.
Yeah, right.
The longest line.
Legalize it already. We've been here for days. You're like, you've been here for 10 minutes. Okay. Where's the bathroom? Line up for the bathroom 8 miles long at the cocaine rally. But, man, I'm down with you if you want to start that rally.
The cocaine rally?
We'll probably get arrested. It'll just be me and
yeah,
you.
that's not going to be a good rally. It's not
Yeah.
going to be a good look for that one.
It's going to be us talking about people we hate for 2 hours and then fucking...
And just new business ideas. What about this?
Let's start tonight. Okay, Chris, let's see. What do we got next on there?
The number of guns obtained legally in Canada but then are sold to people who use them for criminal purposes has surged dramatically in recent years compared to firearms smuggled from the United States. Before 2012, about 75% of firearms were trafficked from the U.S. By 2017, however, about half originated from domestic sources, putting an end to the idea that most of Canada's illegal guns come from across the border.
Still half.
So, yeah, it's only 25%
like half,
difference.
Legal Canadian gun owners are selling their weapons illegally, noting that police have seen more than 40 such cases in recent years.
Yeah, that's nothing. 40 people have sold their guns illegally. Dude, you want to hear an interesting story? So doing research on Filth City,
Right.
we were reading all about this shit, like all about the fucking people who got caught up with the Fords. And so in the movie, there's a character, his name is Juice Man, right? And it's named after this dude who was like actually got arrested. His name was Juice. He was like a Windsor-based like gangbanger or whatever, and he was bringing guns over the border from Detroit. Like he was like bringing tons of guns, and the way he did it is fucking genius. Okay, so what he did is he would go in Detroit and find in like a Walmart parking lot a car with Ontario plates on it, and he would take a fucking handgun and he would like stick it to the inside of the bumper.
Oh my god.
Okay, and he would also put a GPS tracker, and then he would just, it was like an old couple, and he would let them drive home to Windsor, right? They would go through, it's like, you got anything to declare? They're like, no, even though they have a fucking handgun stuck to their bumper. They go park in their driveway, and 2 a.m. they fucking go to their house, and then just pull it off, and boom, you got a gun in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so fucked up. Yeah, that makes sense too. That would fucking work, man.
Oh yeah,
They've
there's
got-
no, because the worst case scenario is like some old couple goes to jail for taking a gun in the country.
Yeah, it's
And
so
if you don't care,
fucked,
then what
man.
the fuck do you care?
But see, this is the thing when they're saying, oh, it's only half the guns that originated from America now, but that's still a lot of fucking shit coming over the border.
Versus 75%.
Yeah, and I love when they're saying like, oh my god, well, where could they be coming from? It's like, yeah, the States, and we sell guns here. Like, people act like Canada has no guns
No,
in
my
it. There's
friend,
a shit ton
my
of
friend,
guns here.
he has like an AR-15.
Really?
He doesn't live in Toronto right now. He used to. He lives in Not far from here. Like I forget where that.
I didn't know you could get one of those in Canada. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's
It's not
the hunt-
fully though. Is
No, you can't get fully automatic. You can't get fully automatics in the States though. It's semi-automatic.
It's a semi-automatic AR-15 he's got?
I mean,
That's
it's like semi.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like you have to pull the trigger every time for one shot. But yeah.
Semi. Fuck, man, that's crazy.
But you can convert it. Like if you know what you're doing, you can convert the lower receiver and make it.
There's a kid that shows how you can just do it with your belt loop. It's fucking unreal. This kid goes, why would you ban bump stocks? It doesn't matter. We can just do it with our belt loop. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's like, check it out. There goes a fucking video of him just fucking hammering off a full clip just with his belt loop.
I mean, the fact is that if someone is deranged, wants to kill a bunch of people, no law is going to stop them because you can't just get rid of all guns.
Yeah, but
if you do get rid of all guns, then they'll get a van.
Yeah, but like it's not that easy to get an AR-15 in Canada. It's not that easy to get like any gun in Canada.
I can tell you, my friend has one. If you want to buy an AR-15, you go to like fucking Bass Pro Shops, or whatever, and you just go through the fucking process.
Yeah, but our process takes a bit. Like you can't just walk out of the door with it.
No. It's not like in the States where you can go to a gun show and like walk out that day. I think in the States they have like the 10 days, where here it's like it takes a few months.
Ours is like.
But if you're that deranged, maybe you're like, I'm gonna fucking shoot up a crowd of people in 3 months.
Yeah,
what are you going to do to
the
stop
weapons that they have available to them, I think, definitely plays a part. Because, like, I mean, if you look at the Vegas shooting versus the one that just happened in Toronto on the Danforth, all that guy could get a hold of was like a Glock. He spent three clips and 2 people died.
Sure.
Or the one in Calgary where some guy went nuts and he had a knife and he killed one guy. But then you get the ones from the States are always like, fuck, the body count.
All they're doing is like making it harder for law-abiding citizens to do these things, but they don't do these kinds of things. It's always the criminals.
But I'm one of those fucking weird hippies. It's sort of like, why does anybody need those fucking things if you're not in law enforcement or military or hunting?
I agree. Like I'm like, I would never have a gun. I have no desire to own a gun. I don't really like guns.
You don't have a little bit of a desire? Like I would never do it, but sometimes
the closest I got is my buddy. I was in Alberta, and he's like, we're going skeet shooting, and his buddy had a bunch of shotguns, and we went and shot some skeets.
Yeah,
which was like fun.
You shot loads in each other.
Oh yeah,
skate.
Which was like fun, but like I would never want to own a gun. And then like I don't know, my ex-girlfriend's friend, I went to North Bay. He had like the Magnum, like the fucking like
the big one,
the huge, or like the 357 Magnum or whatever.
The dirty hairy gun.
It was like massive, and he had a bunch of handguns.
Did you fire that one?
No, I just played with it. But it was,
Did you play with it?
It was
make you feel like God a little bit, Danny.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Make you feel like that sweet Jewish God of yours. L'chaim. That means to life, right?
Yeah.
That's ironic if you kill somebody yelling that. To life!
Probably hasn't happened too often.
Now they're doing these 3D printed guns. They just passed a law.
U.S. federal judge in Seattle has blocked the release of software that allows consumers to 3D print firearms.
That's like nonsense. Like once it's on the internet, you ever try to fucking say something crazy in a tweet? Like someone says something crazy in a tweet, deletes it 3 minutes later, and then a million people are like, here it is.
Yeah.
Like you're not like, once it's on the internet, it's there forever. Like you're not just gonna make a law. Every other part of an AR-15 you can order online without ID. The only thing that you need identification for and like a background check is for the lower receiver, which is the thing that actually makes it shoot. And so
this distributed actually prints the whole gun.
Oh, the whole gun.
Yeah, the issue is they're untraceable.
And you can bring them on a plane, right? Because it's just plastic.
It's just plastic.
Yeah, it's untraceable, and it's also like, I guess it's just sort of how available it was, but they were gonna like charge people to download it, I assume.
Yeah, they're like for the blueprints. It's like how they charge you to download like a doorknob or whatever for a 3D printer.
Right. Yeah. So I guess it's good that it's not just overtly available like that, but still, like you're saying, like it's on the internet. That shit's forever, man. Like you can really.
Yeah. Again, if you want a 3D print, if you own a 3D printer,
I
guarantee you can go on the Pirate Bay. You think someone says
that's
that
the
right before
the gun I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Imagine someone saying that right before they get shot.
Well,
it's like, that's the gun you're gonna shoot me with?
Yeah, it looks like
come on, and it's like, no, it's a real gun.
This looks like it's made by Fisher Price or some shit like that. Give me your money and be like, fuck you. Seriously, this thing's real. You're like, no, it's not. Shut up. It is not intimidating in the least.
Until you get shot with it.
Yeah. And then you're like, wow, that guy just shot me with a blender. What the fuck? Oh, man. That's
shot with a Vitamix.
Like you're saying, though, man, it is the internet. You're not getting that shit back. It's already out there. It's already fucking...
It's done. It's over. Like,
yeah. It's over. It's like trying
The
to get
type of person
You're not
who
getting
would-
your dick pics back. You're not getting your
No, and the
gun
type of
blueprints
person who
back.
would print that knows how to circumvent, like, because they took it off of, like, oh, the main site. Yeah, I'll find somewhere else that has it.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I'm sure it's on the Pirate Bay right now.
We could probably find it right now.
Yeah.
Chris, look up the gun blueprints. We're gonna make a gun.
Have you done your 23andMe?
No, I don't trust that shit. My mom was actually really adamant about me not doing it because she worked in the medical industry, and she was like, they're going to own your genetic
this
code.
is what it is, right?
And that's exactly what happened. She fucking saved my ass. But yeah, the genetic code, they own your genetic code when you send that shit in. And a big problem with that is like the insurance companies can use that to sort of maybe like detect if you have predispositions to different diseases and stuff. So, dude, like if they find out that, you know, you
Dude,
might
they
get
caught.
cancer.
That's how they caught the Golden State Killer.
I heard that. Yeah.
It's so crazy is that they literally were like, they had his DNA sample, and then they went into the 23andMe registry, and they're like, they found a match, and then they just traced it all the way down the tree, and they were like, this is the guy.
Would you do it? Would you do your 23andMe?
Yeah, I would. I mean, like for me, it'd be like, ding, 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 you're white. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Let me save you the trouble. Big
Yeah, no
Jew.
shit, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
look,
like
look in the mirror, like I'm a skinny Mick for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Maybe some Uden. Other than that, I don't know. But I don't think it matters.
No. One, I don't think
matter.
it matters. Two, it's like, yeah, like the best case scenario is like, oh, you have you found out who your great great grandfather was, and he was a cobbler. I'm like, yeah, they're all cobblers.
Every one of them for the last 2,000 years have been cobblers up until 1950.
Yeah, it's like, what else was there to do other than cobble?
He's either a cobbler or a fisherman, or
Yeah,
he
well,
died of his
like-
teeth at 23.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And
it's
me.
like great. It's like, I don't know.
Oh my god.
It's like, yes, you share the genes with these people, but like, I also couldn't be more far removed from this person. Like, there was supposed to be this fucking free speech like debate thing at like Ryerson it was called like the stifling of free speech on university campuses. It got shut down by all these like super left-wing like nut job protesters, and they made this sign that was said like no fascists in our city, like free speech TO.
As if a fascist would debate with you.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. You sit down. We're going to have a good conversation about this.
Yeah. So anyway, so then I was like, that's objectively a funny thing that this got shut down.
Yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a free speech comedy show as obviously a joke. Like, although, you know what? At the time, there are so many fucking comedians who were like, there's no free speech is not under attack in comedy. It's like, oh yeah, how many comedians have lost their jobs in the past fucking 3 months because of a joke they made?
Yeah, how many people don't put jokes online anymore because they're
Yeah.
worried about losing gigs?
Yeah, no, exactly, right? And people
Yeah.
are like, Danny, free speech is not under attack. Don't fucking, you're like, alt-right, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know, nobody's stopping you from saying anything. And it's like, yeah, literally almost once a week now, some comedian gets in trouble. First one, they broke the locks of the Comedy Bar, and then we rescheduled it.
The Antifa did that, right?
Antifa basically did that.
But it wasn't really Antifa. It was like some nerds who pretended
Dude,
to
it was
be
this girl
Antifa.
who was on the Jim Jeffries show. She's like a far left nut job from Oshawa. And
know
she's
this
the
name.
one who like was basically involved in the breaking of the locks, and she's the one who pulled. So her whole thing is like, there's no such thing as free speech because you can't yell fire in a crowded theater.
Right.
During my show, she pulled the fire alarm in a crowded theater.
Why do they always do the thing that they say that they're not going to do? It's like people live in opposite fucking world, man. I question them being real comedians,
Sure.
right? They're not real artists. They're people that are trying to use stand-up as a way to get famous or some shit like that. It's the vast majority
They might have
of
a
what
louder,
these fucks
but
are.
they might have a louder voice in the industry
But
than I do.
our job is not to placate the general public. Our job is to put bullshit in its place, right?
Yeah,
and
which
tell
is
people
what I
the
do.
truth. That's
Yeah.
what we're supposed to do.
Like if something is like funny, then I just point it out, and
Right.
I don't be like, oh no, that's my side. I can't point out that they're being crazy because like
Straight up, fuck the alt-right and fuck the alt-left and fuck your fucking ideas of, you know, what this political spectrum is, because there's a whole bunch of people on that level that are full of shit. Like all the senators and shit, they all have dinners together and stuff like that.
course
They all
they
know
do.
each other's kids and shit, but they're
again,
on the
like
opposite
Donald
end.
Trump is like friends with fucking Hillary Clinton.
They're
like
they were anyway.
Or they
But
were anyway. Dude,
were
their daughters, like Ivanka and Chelsea,
yeah.
are like best friends.
on the same team. They're playing for the
They're
same
on the
fucking
fucking
team. Yeah.
globalist elitist team.
These Illuminati fucks trying to take over our world, Danny Polishchuk. But we
yeah.
won't let them through the power of the internet.
There was the one thing where like the Proud Boys met last summer for like a picnic,
Yeah,
and then
pussies.
everybody was like, "This is like a Nazi thing." And there's something
Yeah.
at
Well,
because
they
there's
are
the thing
kinda-
is there's all these people who
They're
are
a
like,
little Nazi-ish.
but
you
they're
know what
not.
I mean?
They're just assholes.
They are assholes.
You can't find anything that they've done where they're like they're Nazis. They're
Well, no.
they might be like low key racist and
Not low-key at all.
bad people.
Not low key.
Maybe I don't know.
It's in like their mission statements and stuff like that. They're
Well, no, their mission
protect the
statement is that
integrity of a
they're
British man or
Western chauvinists.
Right, the Western
That's what.
chauvinists.
So if you could say that but they're like no, like Western chauvinism is in regards to like culture. They're like we just like the Western culture. It's like regardless of your race, it's like we just like a culture. And now if you're saying, well, that's like white culture, then that's definitely a case that can be made. Like the Proud Boys, like just for record, are the lamest.
Yeah, they're so
Dude, they're
lame.
a fraternity of adults.
Dress like fucking nerds too. Dude.
Man, there's a
Like,
bunch of comics who are like.
Who wants to join a gang where everyone wears khakis and polos and shit like that?
But like, if you really look through it, you're like, they're assholes. Yes, they're not really, unless you make the claim that being a Western chauvinist is racist, which I think you could make a counter argument that it's not.
Sure, not making white people look great though, is it?
No. But like, so when I did the free speech show, these kids from U of T helped me out with the show. There was like this Indian kid. His name was Priyank. This fucking kid from like Lebanon. He was like this Jewish kid from Lebanon, this Chinese kid. They were all Proud Boys. Like they were like, we have an issue because they were like the Toronto Proud Boy chapter, but their whole thing is they're just shit disturbers. They're like, we like fucking with people. Yeah. So that's like, we're just a drinking club. We go out drinking and we like to fuck with people and like cause pranks, which I'm like, that's exactly how I was, Like, and their whole thing is like, we actually have an issue because we don't have any white members. Like we're all fucking these immigrant kids who like to start shit.
What the fuck?
Yes, right? And that's when I was like,
Proud Boys are multicultural?
Yes, that's the whole thing is that people are like, they're a bunch of white guys. They're like, no, they're not.
Well, I guess different races can dress like pussies too.
Yeah.
It's not
I
exclusive
mean, they
to
invented
whites.
it.
So what was the initiation to get into the Proud Boys, Chris?
You got to drink a liter of cum.
Yeah.
So there's a 4-degree initiation process for new members. In the first degree, a recruit must declare, "I am a Western chauvinist who refuses to apologize for creating the modern world."
You did not create the modern world, you fucking 19-year-old nerd with no friends and a
Some
dry
of them are
penis.
40.
The second degree involves 5 or more Proud Boys punching the recruit until he names 5 breakfast cereals.
Can you name 5 breakfast cereals right now?
Count Chocula, Count Chocula, Count Chocula, Count Chocula, Count Chocula. Fuck!
Yeah,
I'm never going to be a Proud Boy like
You're
this.
Still getting hit.
Also, I have a set of balls, so that's probably not going to work for them either. I like when you said that they drink cum, Danny. That was accurate. But it's probably not just regular cum. It's probably like German cum or something like that.
Yeah, it's fortified.
Fortified, triple distilled German cum.
Just to get in, you just have to do the first one. It's if you want to be like, they have different tiers. So it's like, you don't have to do all 4 of these things just to get in. You just have to do the first one. And then if you want to move up the ranks, then you have to do...
From nerd to asshole to fuckboy.
It's a super nerd
To
fuckboy
super
asshole.
pussy.
Yeah.
Fuckboy asshole.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a ladder and they're climbing it.
To earn the 3rd degree, the recruit must get a Proud Boy tattoo.
On his asshole. Of Gavin McInnes.
The Proud Boys website says that the 4th degree is reserved for those who have endured a major conflict related to the cause. The SPLC has said this requires the recruit to get into a physical fight with an Antifa activist at a public rally.
Yeah, no problem watching those 2 people duke it out.
I want both of them to kill each other.
Yeah,
That'd be
exactly
fucking
right.
Fantastic.
The Proud Boys discourages its members from masturbating and watching pornography so as to motivate them to get off the couch and meet women.
There is no point to that at all. Like, I mean, especially you're going to do that to a 19-year-old boy. All he's got is his porn and his fucking Xbox. And
Take it away and he's going to go bang some chicks.
yeah.
It's all about just impregnating chicks.
Well, I mean, who doesn't want to fuck a guy in khakis and a golf shirt at 19 years old?
None of them were killing it before becoming a Proud Boy.
No.
For most of them, I'd say it probably is a step in the right direction because generally, at least for getting pussy, not in overall, but not for all the other stuff. But if they're trying to just get laid, might help them.
The laid thing is cool. The fucking fighting people is crazy because I don't think a lot of these Proud Boys are realizing that they'll probably end up in jail if they do that. And Proud Boys probably not doing too good.
Well,
in jail.
there are things.
You're
with
in what fucking gang?
Yeah.
Suck my cock.
I'm with the Crips. What are you with? The Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys. These are our sandals. We all have the same sandals.
See, they don't really get arrested because it's like they'll be at some rally where it's like Antifa's there and they're there, and then it's the kind of thing where they're just yelling at each other, and then just like someone throws a punch and nobody knows who started it, and they just get broken up, and
yeah.
so it's like, and then they get their third stripe or whatever.
So they're not actually fighting. They're fucking
no, they're
running.
not picking fights. Like, they're losers. I cannot stress this enough. These are not cool people. But neither are the Antifa thing. It's like, imagine how lame the Antifa people are. Now find the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
Same coin.
Yeah.
It's just the other side of it.
And they both think they're doing something good, which I
Of
think
course
is
they
crazy.
do. Yeah.
But evil, when you're under its power, it doesn't seem like evil. It seems like necessity, right? It
Sure.
seems like goodness. So you have, like, they need to do it. But I don't know. You guys need to fucking find a new leader, someone who's.
Oh yeah, Gavin McInnes is a lunatic.
Well, Danny, it's been fucking sweet, man. Thanks
Thank
so
you
much
for
hanging
having me.
out, dude.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
a fun
appreciate
time.
you coming out. We'll have you again. Make sure you guys check out Danny's movie, Filth City,
On
and,
YouTube.
we'll post all your Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff.
Yeah, cool. It's Danny jokes everywhere.
Sick, man. Thanks so much. It's Danny Polishchuk, everybody. We'll see you next time on Glorious and Free.